I think nowadays most of us are experiencing a little emptiness in our pockets, not only because the holidays just hit hard, but also I think we're heading into a little bit of a recession, but we still want to smell good. And there are so many expensive fragrances that maybe just aren't worth that price point. I mean, that's obviously subjective to each their own, and the value is in the nose of the beholder. But a lot of these really high-end, great smelling fragrances maybe either don't last very long, maybe the smell just isn't unique enough to splurge like $300, $400, $500 on the fragrance. Whatever the case may be, these fragrance oils that I'm sharing with you guys today from generic perfumes just trump the original fragrances in one way or another, and I'll explain why. And for those of you guys who are not familiar with fragrance oils, I've had a lot of questions about fragrance oils, and it's literally an oil that is fragrant. They come most of the time in a roller ball such as this, and they smell like any of your favorite fragrances. Like, you name it, you can find a fragrance oil dupe, aka duplicate, of that scent in an oil. The advantages of oils are, well, first of all, the packaging is very convenient, easy to take with you, easy to just like roll on. Other people that maybe are sensitive to alcohols, they won't irritate you the way that alcohols do. There are a multitude of advantages of oils over the original sprays. I did talk more in depth about like fragrance oils 101 in the first video I did, so I'll link that up here for you guys. But today we are talking about generic perfume oils. I'm so excited to be collaborating with them again for this video, and they are offering you guys a free shipping code. So I know a lot of you guys do struggle with the shipping charges from this brand, and they are giving you free shipping over $99 with the code THESCENTED. So you have that, and we'll get through some of their new releases of fragrances that I really would never buy for full price. Truly, for whatever the reason may be that I'll explain, these are better than the originals in my opinion. If that sounds interesting to you guys, keep on watching. If you're new, my name is Yana. This is The Scented. We do fun fragrance things. Subscribe, hit the bell, stay tuned, do the fun fragrance things with me. We're gonna start off with this one that I'm holding here, and this is Ambre Safrano from BDK. Obviously not from BDK, it's from generic perfumes, but inspired by Ambre Safrano from BDK. This is a sweet, plummy, kind of leathery saffron scent. The saffron is very warm and inviting, and I believe there's a note of olibanum in here, which is like a resin, and it just gives it a lot of depth, warmth. It's really lovely. The leather in here is smooth. There's no sharpness. A lot of the time with an alcohol-based fragrance, I find that leather comes off sharp. Just somehow in alcohol-based fragrances, leather comes off more sharp to my nose. And here it's extremely smooth, a little bit sweet, and there's a really nice vanilla in here, almost like you just broke open like a real vanilla pod. It's just dancing there in the background. This is such a comforting, kind of inviting, welcoming scent for the cooler weather. And of course, BDK is quite expensive. I have smelled the side by side, and I actually do like the scent that's in here better, just because somehow with BDK, we can't get along. Like, I like a few fragrances from BDK, but I find there's like some synthetic sharpness in there. I'm not finding it in here. This actually is really beautiful. The next two I want to touch on quickly are the Rose series from Tom Ford that just came out recently. This is Rose de Chine, and this is Rose de Malfi. So I did not know what to expect from these fragrances. None of my local boutiques carry them, and I think that Tom Ford is like painfully overpriced, truly. There are very few fragrances from Tom Ford that I would pay full pop. These fragrances are lovely. I wouldn't pay full pop for them, so I would always opt for the oil. Rose de Malfi is this very sweet rose. I honestly was expecting it to be almost like an aquatic rose, just associating it with the Amalfi Coast. But this is a very, very sweet rose, kind of with a touch of powderiness. It reminds me a little bit of Rose's Berberanza, which I have from Lancôme, but it doesn't have the pistachio, it doesn't have the sourness. There's almond, and I smell pink pepper in here. So it is a really nice combination of notes, but oh so expensive as the original, whereas this one lasts absolutely all day. It is super, super strong. With the oils, a lot of people say that they don't project as much as sprays do. I don't find that to be the case. I wear the oils and my man wears the oils. I can smell him from rooms away when he's wearing his oils. He can smell me as well. So maybe they're so strong to some people that maybe they can't smell it on themselves. I'm really not sure where this, I guess, misconception came from, but I really don't find the projection is lacking, at least not for most of them. Anyway, the next one is Rose de Chine. This one's a little bit sour. Just the rose in here is more of a sour rose. I do really like it. And there's a note of myrrh in here, but I just get this kind of juicy, almost sour rose. There's peony in here as well. It's a really airy, but I do just get more a rose. You do get more of the myrrh as the fragrance dries down. So I wore it on my skin now. I'm just testing it on paper. And so right out of the container, you get most of the rose and the peony. But as you wear it, it does develop into that rich, warm myrrh scent. And myrrh is one of my favorite notes in fragrances. So this one I think is really, really beautiful. Again, I haven't had a chance to smell the originals, but I just out of principle, I just don't want to pay over $400 for like a 50 ml bottle of fragrance. That's just, I don't know. I'd have to really, really love it in order to do that. We're on a little bit of a rose theme here. The next one is Paris Paris from the Chanel Les Eaux series. I have a couple from the Chanel Les Eaux. I really wanted to try Paris Paris. It came out in 2022 and it's a nice airy rose. I don't love it that much. I do prefer all of the other Les Eaux series over this one. It's still nice, but it's just kind of a citrusy rose, a bit of patchouli in the background. The Les Eaux series are meant to be sprayed more heavily. They're airy, they're light. It's in the name. So they're like between a perfume and like a body spray. That's kind of what they are. And they are, I guess, relatively more affordable when you think about the entire Chanel range. But still, for that fragrance, I would opt for the oil instead because you do get a little bit more longevity. And it's just a lot more affordable. And generic perfumes, like I prefer the roller balls, so I do ask them to send me the roller balls, but they have formulations in solid fragrance as well, so it's like a balm, and they have spray. So if you're the kind of person that exclusively just likes to spray, you can get that, no problem. They have it in every size imaginable, like every formulation imaginable, they have you covered. So I do really love that about them. They have a broad range of offerings. The next one is from Killian and it's called Musk Butterfly. And I think this is exclusively an Eastern European release. This is another rose aldehyde kind of soapy fragrance. I've smelled this many, many times. So it is a nice soapy scent. There's a bit of rose in here. I don't prefer it out of musk fragrances for me. I did grab this because I really wanted to try Musk Butterfly and I'm okay with it. Now this next one, I think I've been anticipating the most, and this is from Louboutin, and this is Louis Rouge. I've been so excited to try Louis Rouge. It seemed like the notes would be right up my alley. There's cardamom in here. There's iris. I love both of those notes. It's a little bit woody, a touch sweet. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I have heard from others that Louis Rouge is not a very long-lasting fragrance, but it is extremely expensive. I would not, just for the performance, I would not pay that level of price for, yeah, I'm losing my words today. That level of price, I would not pay for the original Louis Rouge. This is wonderful. I wore this, it lasted me all day. This is exactly the type of scent that I love. The next one is Blue Heart from Femine, which is a newer release. This one has coconut and saffron, which is such an interesting combination. It's a really milky, unusual type of saffron scent. Very, very cool. It does dry down to, it smells almost a little bit like leather in the dry down. It's cypriol. It's like a little bit medicinal almost, but it's beautiful. I do love the opening of this scent though. It is a very, very unique kind of coconutty saffron. It has a cleanliness about it. It has a warmth about it as well. It makes me think of warm milk and like clean musk in here as well. It smells very, very clean. on the scent strip, but as it develops, it does kind of get a little bit more, it has a little bit more bite as it dries down, which I love the journey that the scent takes you on, because it starts off almost like the way that your day would go. You know, you start off fresh, clean, and as it transitions, you get a little bit more spicy. Yeah, this one is beautiful. I have not tried the original. I've been really wanting to try the original. Can't get my hands on it anywhere nearby. So this was a great way for me to smell it. And Thameen is quite expensive, like very, very expensive. So again, very few fragrances from Thameen that I would pay the full pop for. I would just stick with the oil on this one. Me personally, performs great on the skin, so I have no complaints with the oil. And next up is a Dior private collection scent called Cheval Blanc. This is a powdery scent with white florals. Very clean, soapy, spa-like. This type of scent is very comforting. I love this type of scent. The Dior private collection price point is really up there. So for this type of scent, I would just opt for the oil, because again, the performance with that collection most of the time is a little bit weak, and this smells identical to the original. I really love this type of scent. It's just very clean and comforting, like fresh out of a beautiful, luxurious spa. Next up is Amethyst Haze from the Carolina Herrera private collection. I actually have a full bottle of this. I recently purchased it. I showed it in one of my haul videos, and I found it to be a bit masculine, even though it's a beautiful scent. I legitimately prefer the way that this smells better. It's more rounded off. It has less kind of that sharp spiciness. It's a very smooth lavender scent. I can smell the coffee in here. Very, very cozy. And this one to me isn't as masculine because they've rounded off those sharp edges. Again, it has cardamom. Cardamom is one of my favorite notes, but a lot of the times I prefer cardamom in masculine scents. But here it interplays so well with all of the notes. It's an interesting mix with the coffee and the lavender, and it does remind me a little bit of Coffee Break in this formulation. In the spray formulation, which I have the original and I bought it at a discount, it reminded me actually a little bit more of BDK's Gris Charnel. Somehow it just pulled that way. Coffee, cardamom, lavender. I actually get all of the notes that I want to get out of this one. For me, overall, the oil version is actually a legitimately better scent, and the performance is excellent as well. The original fragrance lasts really well too. And finally, they sent me a few little teeny tiny baby bottles like this just to try a few other things. And the one that really stood out to me, I was surprised, is Cherry in Japan from Escada. I thought this was such a nice, sweet, playful cherry scent. I might as well just put it on my hand because these are the tiniest dabbers of life. It's a really playful, bright, sparkling, like almost slightly citrusy cherry. I was thinking it would be more cherry blossom, but I actually do get cherry in here as well. Like you do get the florals and a cherry blossom scent and a little bit of citrus, but it's bright, like sunshine, being in like a blooming park with cherry blossoms around you, the fresh air, like having orange slices while you're sitting on a park bench. That's kind of what it smells like to me. And I know that what I just described to you is not what's listed in the notes. I understand that they only give you 3 notes. Some brands do this nowadays. I'm not looking to the notes. I am just looking to my nose. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of overview of new releases and the ones that I actually think do stand out over the original fragrances. I hope you guys take advantage of the free shipping code while it's active. I'll make sure everything is noted in the description box for you. And that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye.